So continuing to look at my Wii collection before I get to talking a little bit about Metroid Other M. I got the Metroid Prime trilogy, which I might as well show that since it had a very small print and it's a nice little package. You got like the sleeve and you got the steel case. Metroid Prime trilogy. If you haven't played these games, it's worth playing at least the first one. I didn't really like two and three. I liked them. I liked them enough, but the first one was one of the best Metroid games ever. One of the best GameCube games. I have Okami, which has the famous the Wii cover art had the famous IGN symbol hidden in it because it was stolen art. You can't see it. There you go. See the IGN symbol? But I got this. It's like Zelda, but almost even awesomer. Strangely, it's like super long, so I never beat it. I got like 30 or 40 hours into it, never beat it. But it's a good game. Another one I didn't beat, but I got like 25 hours into it and was completely this game barely released. And there was talk about it on IGN and stuff, and you know, gamers generally know about it, but no gamers I know bought it, and it didn't sell at all. But it is a good, kind of like Pikmin, but more complex and town building. A bit more going on than Pikmin, but kind of inspired by its design and other similar like simulation games. And I know I've been building this up, so I'm gonna. It's Little King's Story, a long, good game that you could get for probably nothing now on the Wii. I'm sure like GameStop sells it for like 20 bucks or something, but I'm sure you could get this for like 3 bucks or something. And it's cool. It's tough though, and it has like a problem with targeting when you're trying to target people. Resident Evil 4, the best version of Resident Evil 4, which is one of the best games of last gen. I don't really have to say much about it. Super Mario Galaxy, or Super Paper Mario. Not quite like the older Mario RPGs, other Paper Mario's, because the combat is real time. It's kind of like regular Mario. You stop on stuff. It's a little more RPG ish, but people like backlashed against it because of that, and they didn't like that there was so much text and reading that you had to go through. But my first time through this, I thought it was pretty awesome. Maybe not as good as the first two Paper Mario's, but pretty damn good. Boombox Blash, Boom Blocks Bash Party, sequel to Steven Spielberg's and EA's like stupid puzzle game where it's like knocking down blocks and shit, and there's whole bunch of different modes. It's like a decent party game if you ever have parties like that. I don't know who does. I don't. But there's a lot there's a lot of content on these. They are pretty fun in like short spurts, and they're cheap. So I would pick up if you're gonna pick up Boom Blocks. I'd get this one, the sequel. It has more stuff on it, but I wouldn't like rush out and buy this, but it's better than a lot of shit people buy on the Wii. So Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. It was also on the GameCube, but I remember I got the Wii the night it came out, and I got it with this and Super Monkey Ball, which sucked, and I think something else. And of course, Wii Sports. I spent half the night playing Wii Sports, and then I played this till like 6 in the morning. Wii Fit. Let's not talk about that. Geometry War Galaxies. It's just Geometry Wars. And Zack and Wiki, the game that IGN told everyone to buy and no one did. It's like a point and click adventure, but broken down into pretty bite-sized levels with really clever puzzles that use motion controls. Very cool game that I was never able to beat because the puzzles in this are fucking tough. But Zack and Wiki you could get for like $12. And that's at the store. You could get it online for nothing, I'm sure, and it's cool. Get Zack and Wiki. You try to look past like it has like bizarre presentation and characters, but very like very clever puzzles and shit in it. It's a fun game. That's like my whole Wii collection, guys. And the thing that started all this, besides a boy and his blob, which did I talk about that even? No, I got it over there. But a boy and his blob, a very good game. It was I got Metroid Other M the other day, and a lot of people have been pretty apprehensive about it, and I've been in the same exact boat as everyone else. And then the reviews of Other M rolled out, and it got good reviews, but like the content of those reviews was like it turned me off. I was like, oh no, this is not good at all, right? But I mean, for those people that don't know, it's basically a new Metroid game, but it's being developed mostly by Tecmo, the guys, Team Ninja at Tecmo, basically. That the guys that did like the Ninja Gaidens. I don't care how you pronounce Ninja Gaiden. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Okay. And I don't know. I had really big worries about it. For one, they said the big focus. You're gonna focus on story more, and they do, and it's not very good. Except the story. It's one of the few times in a video game where I'm like following the story. Maybe it's because I'm like already have like a thing for the characters, but it's very simple and straightforward. Even though if, like it's cliched and there's like it's stupid kind of, and there's definitely things that like I could see why people are giving like feminist criticisms of it, because it's like there's this whole daddy thing going on with Adam, and if I've lost you by this point, you shouldn't be watching this. But the story is just I don't know, for some reason I'm following it, and they do have this cool thing where every time you quit the game, and, say if I were to go play right now, as it's loading up, it would give me a text readout of the recent story events, so that like I could remember what the hell I was doing. People said it's linear. It's kind of like Metroid on a straight track. That more action oriented, and yeah, it is a little more linear. But there is room to explore, and a lot of times you are forced to stop and figure out puzzles and figure out how to get through the room, or how to find a way into the next room, so that it still feels very Metroidy, Metroidy on top of like just the enemies and the look of it and the music. It feels very Metroidy. There's backtracking. Just it's a little more on a straight path, but that it really doesn't hurt it to me. Um, People said the controls are clunky. Clunky, they are, but once you start to get good at them, like get used to them, you do get pretty good at them. And people wish, oh, why couldn't there be a nunchuck option, or maybe even a classic controller option? It's feasible, you could do it, right? But they were able to figure out a way to do it using just the Wii remote, and to me, like once you get good at it, it works. And so if you're able to use that minimalist approach, do it. Um, People don't like that. It's a cool idea where it's a 3D environment, but you're always moving kind of on 2D planes in it, and it feels like a side scroller or like action shooter. But people don't like that. You could at any point you could point at the screen and look around in the first person visor view that looks like Metroid Prime. I think that's cool. I like how they use it. There are moments where you have to where you're forced into that perspective and you have to look around at the environment and find something. And one critic called it like pixel hunting. Another, maybe it was another critic, but said that it's like playing Where's Waldo, except you don't know what Waldo is because you don't know what you're looking for. Which that's true, but those moments are kind of infrequent to me, at least so far. And when they come up, it's like I do find that what they're looking for usually pretty quickly. The trick is to look around and look for something moving. You look at something moving and then you stop and it'll zoom in. Uh, but it's always fun. Like you look around for a couple minutes and like all of a sudden you find the right thing, and it's like it is kind of like Where's Waldo. It's kind of, even though you're not looking, you don't know what you're looking for, but it's fun. Um, what the hell else were people saying about this, man? I go down the line and it's just like I don't know. It's definitely not the best Metroid game ever. Okay, don't get me wrong. Not even close. Super Metroid and Metroid Prime are way above it. I'd probably play this again before Metroid Prime 2 or 3. And, you gotta keep in mind I'm only like 3 hours into this, but I'm having a blast with it. Um, I think like the boss fights are really fun and intense. Some of the encounters with like just common enemies can be annoying. Like there's like these two little gun things that had helicopter propellers that were coming at me earlier, and like you couldn't attack them until they charged up to shoot you. So you had a very narrow window to attack them, and before they're gonna blast you. I could see how switching to the first person view where you can't move around might be hard in some boss battles. But so far it's been pretty accommodating. It seems like you get a little more time to like just stop and find where you have to point at. Sometimes it points you right at where you want to shoot. I just think that like this game's already getting a bad rap, and of course because it's Metroid, it's not going to get as much attention as like another Nintendo game. But I think people are just vastly underrating this. Like even a lot of critics are just like, granted it's getting good reviews. It's just I agree with a lot of their complaints too. I don't know. I just feel like people are gonna. I feel like fans are just gonna latch on to, or just gamers in general, are gonna latch on to what critics say in the reviews and just say, "Oh, this is a terrible Metroid game. It's not even Metroid," which is not true. It's a pretty cool Metroid game, and it is Metroid. And as for the story, I don't know. It's just what the fuck do you expect? Like I said, I'm following it, so that's got to be some sort of point in its favor. But I'm only a couple hours into it. Like I said, maybe I'll talk about it more when I beat it. But I definitely like it. Uh, Not perfect at all, but it's a fun Metroid experience. It's a new, different Metroid experience. It's kind of like a new, different game that hasn't really been done that much. And I like these types of games, and I think like the 2D slash 3D stuff and using the controller horizontally and just using the D-pad and digital movement for Samus is like, I think it's really cool. It's a nice throwback, but with like kind of modern technology, modern technology. Um, Even the parts like there's certain parts where they'll do the Resident Evil over the shoulder cam, like uptight on Samus, and you like walk through rooms like this. It's usually like small little rooms, or when they're getting to more like cinematic sequences. And this is something that like it's totally awkward with the D-pad control, but yet it's totally like if you're used to playing games for so long, like if you've been playing games since you were a kid, you're gonna like you'll get through it just fine. Like as clunky as the controls are, like I will agree that there's some clunkiness to it because it's using only a couple buttons to do a lot of different things. But once you get used to it, you get into a nice rhythm where you're like tapping to evade enemies. And when you run low on health, you bring up the controller and press the A button to charge up your thing. It has like a really fun kind of active combat system. And it's a Metroid game through and through. I'm having a good time with it. I think Metroid fans should definitely give it a shot, even though I think it'll be up for much debate. But leave your comments about Metroid or just the Wii in general, or anything I had to say about it, or some of your like favorite Wii gems that no one ever talks about in the comments. Thanks for watching.